Hello again, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for the second Protocol for Life Balance product presentation. This one will be a product highlight on Methyl-Action, a methylation support formula. Just a quick introduction. My name is Kyle Russ. I am a board-certified nutrition specialist and licensed dietitian nutritionist. I work for the nutrition team at Now Health Group, which includes Now Foods, and my professional background involves medical nutrition therapy and sports performance training. So as I mentioned, today's training will be on Protocol for Life Balance methylation support, which is called Methyl-Action. Methyl-Action is a unique formula created for supporting the biochemical process of methylation within the body. If you're familiar with the supplement industry, I'm sure you have seen other products out there focused on supporting methylation. So you may wonder what makes Methyl-Action different from other methylation products. And I'll make sure to cover that later on in this quick presentation. So before we dive into Methyl-Action, I want to cover some of the foundational components of this unique biochemical process. The key players involved in methylation are methyl groups. So methyl groups are small molecules made of one atom of carbon and three atoms of hydrogen. These methyl groups get added to other organic compounds like DNA, hormones, vitamins, neurotransmitters, and more. And then it changes the way these compounds behave. So what exactly is methylation? Methylation is a biochemical process that occurs in all cells of the body. As I mentioned in the previous slide, it's the addition of a methyl group to an organic compound. The process of adding methyl groups to an organic compound aids in the activation of certain vitamins, it aids in energy production, supports detoxification pathways, and so much more within the body. Now, NIH's definition of methylation speaks to this process's ability to alter gene expression. I like to picture methyl groups as tiny stickers or post-it notes. And if you can imagine your body sticking these little methyl groups to compounds like DNA, the methyl groups can act like control switches for DNA, like turning off or silencing a specific gene, for example. This helps control which genes are active and which are silent. DNA methylation is an important part of the maintenance of normal DNA structure, and the process of DNA methylation decreases with age. So this can lead to genome instability or modifications in the expression of certain genes. So this is why it's really important to support methylation for healthy aging. Now, Deanna Minich was one of my professors in graduate school. I took her class on detoxification, and methylation was always a key topic in her lectures. And as you can see, she states how the ability of your body to methylate has broad impacts on nearly every system in our body, from DNA expression to detoxing harmful compounds in our body. The role of methylation extends way beyond just DNA expression and detoxification. The body's ability to carry out methylation impacts mitochondrial function, the ability to conceive, as well as the development of a growing fetus, creation and function of immune cells, and the methylation of neurotransmitters and hormones such as dopamine, histamine, melatonin, and estrogen, and can help facilitate their excretion out of the body. Now, if you look at the picture of the liver, you will see methylation circled under phase 2 reactions. Methylation is a key component of detoxification via a biological cycle called the 1-carbon metabolism pathway. So to function properly, this cycle requires certain vitamins, such as B12, B6, B2, folate, betaine, and choline, and methionine, which is an amino acid. Methylation allows a methyl group to be added to a toxin, which will turn the toxin into a more polar, water-soluble compound that is more safely excreted by the body. Now, insufficient intakes of the nutrients that I mentioned may result in a dysregulated 1-carbon metabolism pathway, which not only hinders detoxification capacity, but can also lead to a decrease in S-adenosylmethionine, or SAMe for short, which I will mention later in this presentation. So it can decrease SAMe, and DNA methylation, as well as increase homocysteine levels. Genetic mutations have gained a lot of attention in the last decade, both by practitioners and patients. Single nucleotide polymorphisms, or SNPs for short, are mutations in specific genes that impact biological processes, like methylation. The SNP that affects methylation activity is the MTHFR gene, or methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase gene. Think of MTHFR as an instruction manual for making an enzyme that is crucial for methylation. This enzyme's main job is to activate folate into the active form that your body can actually use, methylfolate. Methylfolate is a key methyl donor, and it provides the methyl group needed to convert homocysteine to methionine. So if you have the genetic polymorphism for the MTHFR gene, this could result in lower levels of active folate and higher homocysteine levels, which is detrimental to your health. Those with the genetic mutation will often need further dietary supplement support in order to offset the impact of poor methylation. And so this is where a product like Methyl-Action shines. So in today's world, polypharmacy is common. There are specific drugs or classes of drugs that can impact our ability to methylate. And these include antacids and proton pump inhibitors, antibiotics, cholestyramine and cholestyramine, which are bile acid sequestrants, oral contraceptives, nitrous oxide, and metformin. So if someone is taking one or several of these drugs, methylation likely needs support. Now there are various biomarkers that can help us get a better picture of how well our bodies are methylating. Each of these markers is unique and like a check engine light for your methylation cycle. So those with the SNP may have homocysteine or high homocysteine if they lack methylation support, which could result in higher risk of cardiovascular strain. Too low of homocysteine can be an indicator of imbalances in the methylation process as well, potentially signifying an overmethylation imbalance, which can happen. Now, low serum folate can present if there is not enough raw material for methylation to occur. High serum folate, on the other hand, can also present in those with persisting symptoms, which can indicate folate isn't converting properly, which is seen in one of the MTHFR variants. Low levels of RBC folate could indicate not enough folate being available consistently, which would slow down methylation. Low B12 can result in homocysteine accumulating, and thus the methyl groups can't be donated efficiently. MMA is a really interesting and unique marker. It will rise when vitamin B12 is low. So a high MMA marker can mean your body isn't using B12 properly, which results in methylation slowing down. Now, FIGLU is a compound that builds up when folate is low. High FIGLU can indicate that there is low folate availability and thus poor methylation support. Now, methionine is the starting amino acid that becomes SAMe, which I mentioned earlier. This is the body's universal methyl donor, SAMe. Now, low methionine levels means low SAMe, which means fewer methyl groups are available to be used for the methylation process. Now, this last one, SAMe and SAH ratio, is a very interesting and useful marker. So in this case, the SAMe will equate to the methyl group donor, and the SAH will represent methyl groups that are or have been used up. So the balance between SAMe and SAH tells us how efficient methylation is running globally. A high SAMe and low SAH indicates strong methylation capacity, and a low SAMe and high SAH indicates sluggish methylation and buildup of waste. So this is just a short statement regarding false claims surrounding folic acid. Now, these days, there are a lot of self-proclaimed experts making claims that we need to carefully evaluate with the available scientific evidence. So one of the claims that gets the most attention is that all folic acid should be removed from the diet and supplementation entirely, or that the only form that should be taken is methylfolate. So as of now, there's currently not enough evidence to support these claims, and it's important to explain to your patients or clients that cutting folic acid out of the diet is not safe, and that taking 400 micrograms of folic acid daily while pregnant is currently the best way to protect a fetus from neural tube defects. Studies do show that getting 400 micrograms of folic acid daily can increase blood folate levels regardless of your MTHFR genotype. So this is a comparison of our methylation support product, Methyl-Action, to other brands on the market. Now, Methyl-Action provides a 45-day supply, which includes 1,000 milligrams of betaine anhydrous in the form of trimethylglycine, or TMG. It also offers 1,000 micrograms of methylfolate, 1,000 micrograms of methyl B12, 25 milligrams of P5P, which is the coenzyme or active form of B6, and 25 milligrams of R5P, which is the coenzyme active form of vitamin B2. Now I want to highlight betaine for a second. Betaine is an essential component of the 1-carbon metabolism pathway that I mentioned earlier. It's a methyl group donor, and it helps recycle homocysteine and supports healthy liver function. So some brands use betaine HCl, which is only around 76% trimethylglycine, and is also very acidic and not suitable for some people. So the betaine anhydrous is the more desirable one that we put in there. You can see that we have the lowest MSRP out of all the brands, which sticks out to our value of providing a high quality, effective supplement to your patients for an affordable price. And that is it for our presentation. Thank you for joining us, and I hope this inspires you to use Methyl-Action in your practice.